Hello, and welcome to Smeer Whitmeer by Steven. Alright, guys, so I made a few points that I want to go over about this COVID-19, as well as this coronavirus. COVID-19, coronavirus, same thing. Um, so I definitely want to go over this with you guys, and it's been really itching my nerve uh, about uh, our Governor Whitmer on her lockdown that started officially today. Um, so let's talk about the lockdown. So as you know, on Monday, she went on live air and discussed that we were going to be Michigan was going to be on lockdown for 3 weeks, 24 hour lockdown for 3 weeks, except for our essentials, so like grocery stores, stuff like that. And it was in effect. It started on the 24th, and it was in effect of 12:01 a.m. Um, but from my knowledge, I do feel that um, the lack of care, for the state that she has shown over the past couple weeks shows that you're now doing a lockdown for something that is a pandemic that is affected not only China, but it's affected uh, uh, Italy, Greece, as well as Russia, countries and states and cities. People are dying of this pandemic, and the lack of care from Governor Whitmore shows that it took her 15 deaths to realize that she really needed to lock down our state. But 15 deaths to lock down our state, to put us on lockdown, that's not enough. Also, um, I mean, with those 15 deaths, those could have been prevented if she took more initiative in locking down the state prior to this. I mean, literally, New York, Ohio, Chicago, which is what, 4 hours, 3 hours, 5 hours from the state of Michigan, they been did a lockdown, but we're just now coming to a lockdown on Monday. Kind of sketchy to me there, just a little bit. But um, this lockdown is not forcible, so it doesn't tell us. It tells us that we can still go out. Okay, so we can still go out, we can still go shopping, we can still get our things that we need, drugstore, stuff like that. I understand people got to go to the drugstore, get their drugs, they want to go to the weed store, get their weed. They're going to be locked in for 24 hours for 3 weeks. I get that because, to be honest with you, I'm on the same level page here. So I get it. But to have a non-forcible lockdown for a state that already is climbing as we speak of over 1,000 positive results of COVID-19, as well as 15 deaths in this state alone, with it gonna double within probably this week for sure. I'm not understanding why is this not forcible. You're not helping the community by giving us a lockdown that's not enforceable. Okay, you're just giving. You're just, what is it? You're putting it on a back burner. So you're just giving us the option to stay inside without that forcible cause. A lot of people are staying inside, and a lot of people are not going out, which is good. Um, but it needs to be forcible. To slow this down, to save the community, to save the citizens, we need a forcible action to be in place so people can understand how serious this pandemic really is. I don't think people are really realizing how serious this is. So it's really irritating. Um, and I feel like also people are not getting the information about this COVID 19. Let's talk about this COVID 19. So, this COVID 19, also known as coronavirus, is a respiratory illness. So, if your respiratory is, if your immune system, I should say, I'm sorry, is very low. You're capable of getting the coronavirus if in contact with someone that has it and doesn't know about it. It can spread to person to person. This virus, um, the first case was in China back in December of 2019. So there's no specific date on when this virus occurred in China. It just says December of 2019. One person had the coronavirus and it transmitted wildly right after that, right? In China. People were dying in China. People are dying, still dying in China as we speak right now. But also people are working, you know. So I'm not understanding that. Also, now in every state and every nation is also affected by this pandemic. Every state in Michigan, every state in the United States, every state um, that is around us is going through this pandemic issue right now, and they don't know what to do. Why don't we know what to do? Because we were never prepared as a nation to go through something like this. Yeah, we're going to be put in a recession because, all the crap that's going on, businesses closing, they a lot of people have their own business. It's not like a franchise. So a lot of people are risking their money to trying to save their businesses because of this pandemic that we're in. They can't make money. So what's the other way to making money? They can't make money. Okay, they can't make money at all. If they're being forced to close down, they can't make money. So a lot of the businesses in the States are suffering severely because of this pandemic. Um, do I feel like it's under? Do I feel like it's getting to the point where it's going to be controlled? No. I'm sorry. Governor Whitmore does not have the capability or the sense to put this nation or put this country, state, I should say, in an actual lockdown. In an actual lockdown. If you put this state in an actual lockdown, like everywhere else, the spread is not as deep, and we can save people's lives, and we're not overwhelming the hospitals. But again, we are doing the opposite of that. We're overwhelming the hospitals. We're overwhelming the doctors. We're overwhelming the staff. Staff are getting affected of this because they are assisting people who have the coronavirus. So, and then they go home to their families, and then they're affected. So, what can we do? What can we do? Well, the first thing I say is we need to acknowledge what's actually going on in this state. Okay, so in Michigan alone, we have 1,329 open cases confirmed of positive COVID-19. Okay, we have 15 deaths in the state of Michigan alone, and that number will, like I said before, increase. Definitely will increase. In Detroit alone, we have 431 positive cases of COVID-19 that people are fighting their lives to get better, and we're doing nothing. And also with those 431 total positive cases of COVID-19, we have 6 deaths. Six deaths. So 6 deaths are already in Detroit. So 6 and 15, you see where it's not a pandemic if you don't stress it enough. And you're not stressing it enough, so people are not thinking of it as a pandemic. They're thinking of it as just a common flu, something that's going to go away at its time, and it's not. Okay, about the COVID-19, they can stay on surface areas for up to 72 hours. So if you are infected, you don't know it, and you don't wipe down what you touch, the next person that touches that are infected. That's why the cases are going so rapidly right now, because people don't know. They're not going to know within 15 or until 15 days or 10 days. What I forgot what it was, 10 or 15 days until they know positive if they're actually going to be positive for COVID-19 or not. And I think that's kind of crappy, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. Why are we wearing gloves? Why are we wearing face masks? Why are we not staying 6 feet apart from one another in lines? Why are we coughing? If you're coughing, if you're sick, you should not be out shopping for food because you're putting other people at risk that have lower immune systems, and their respiratory system is just gonna take in that disease, and it's just gonna be a bad mess for that person, and they're gonna have to go through that crap and everything else. I mean, it's just really shitty how people in this world of America thinks about other people. They don't think about other people; they think about themselves. You need to start thinking about other people around you and stop thinking about yourself. There's a time to be selfish, but at a time right now when we're in a pandemic, this is not a time to be selfish. Okay. Um, Also, anyone can be infected by this. Okay, young, old, you're everyone is. There's people my age and younger in hospitals right now fighting this. They may not die necessarily, but they're fighting this, right? Um, and We don't have a cure for it. We don't have a cure for the COVID 19. So these doctors are risking their lives going in, trying to figure out a way to save our lives from the COVID 19 because we don't have a cure for it. No one, only person that I know that has a cure for it that I've heard, and I don't know if it's true or not, but I heard China has a cure for the COVID 19. I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on it. But that's what I heard through the grapevines. Um, a week ago, a 30-year-old died in California of the coronavirus. He was infected. Um, I don't know the whole story. I can say if a 30-year-old can die from the coronavirus, and I'm 27 years old, I believe any one of us in this world can die of the coronavirus, and we need to start taking it serious. That's why I'm saying, Whitmore, you need to know about this virus. You need to read on this virus. You need to do your research. Okay, so we know what's going on because you're just saying we're on lockdown, but we can still do shopping, we can still do this, but people are still dying, people are still getting positive cases here. That's not slowing down the pandemic we are in right now. That's making the pandemic worse. So we need to make it better. So communicating to your state of what's going on. Let us know what's going on. Let us know how bad this virus is. If you enforce it enough to let us know this virus is extremely deadly, this virus will kill you, this virus will affect everyone, maybe, just maybe, we can stay inside and save lives. Saving lives is what we want to do. It's what I want to do. Um, I speak for maybe a few people, but I do know of a friend that lives in Italy, and he's seeing this pandemic unfold in his eyes. He's seeing people dying every day of this issue. It has gone worldwide, and I don't think we understand what is really in effect here because our governor is not giving us enough information because she's not prepared. When you're a governor, it is your duty to make sure that the state that you govern is ready for any type of pandemic, any type of mess or war or anything that goes on with the country that you have to shut down businesses for a shorter period of time. You should know what is going on, and you should inform us as a community, as a nation, of what's going on because we're people here. We live here. We have family here. So we want to know what we can do. And all you're telling us is to stay inside to prevent it from spreading. We need more information on what else or how else it can spread. I just gave you two other pieces of information. Surfaces, 72 hours. Make sure you clean all surfaces because you just don't know. They stay on surfaces for 24 hours. They stay in the air for 48 hours. Also, if you think you have the coronavirus or the COVID-19 um, symptoms that you should look for is taste. You will lose your taste. You will lose your sense of smell. That is part of the side effect of having the corona or the COVID-19, as they say, pandemic. I don't feel like this is too crazy because a lot of people stay apart from each other, anyways. In Michigan, I feel that Michigan and this U.S. in general, they're very, very hard headed. Okay? They're not going to listen to what you have to say because they don't care because you don't give them enough information to actually care to stay inside or to care to take action or to care of anything. So without you providing the information of what's going on, how can we care? Because you're not telling us how this can spread. We're going online figuring out what's going on, but online is only giving us so much information because they don't know what's going on. So, this is what I think Whitmore needs to do. I think Whitmore needs to sit down with her staff. I think she needs to sit down and look at every side effect and also get with the board of medicine. I don't know how they call it, but I really do believe that they need to come together and they need to look up all the information they can about this COVID-19 and put a stop to it. See, acknowledge yourself so you can acknowledge us as a country, acknowledge us as a state, why this is very important, why we should be staying inside, why we should be doing this, why we should be not doing that. You know, people are going to want to get outside because they're going to get antsy. They don't want to be inside their house all day. I get it. I'm the same way. I'm very antsy. I get bored easily. I'm extremely bored every day now. I've been off for 2 weeks. And I'm just like, I don't know what to do with myself. But at this time, there's a lot of things we can do. If your apartment has like, a workout room, use that, but make sure you are sanitizing after you're using it, before you're using it, because you never know who was in there before. There's also a lot of personal trainers that I do know that are doing group fitness on Instagram Live. They're going live and they're doing fitness. They are keeping everybody proactive, and that's what needs to be in effect. Also, I think that she needs to know the side effects correctly before addressing them on live television. You not knowing what you're talking about makes a huge impact on not just, the viewers or the state of Michigan, but also it makes an impact on everybody. Because at the end of the day, it's like you don't know what you're saying. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know anything about this COVID-19. You just now heard of it and you don't know what to do. So now you're in a panic and now you want to shut down everything. And it's not a forcible shutdown. So it's like people are still able to go to work that need to go to work. People are still, able to go to the grocery store, things like that. But I feel like Governor Whitmore needs to put more action into it. If we're allowed to go to the grocery store, we need to be wearing masks. If we're allowed to go to the grocery store, we need to be wearing gloves. We need to take the precaution of others around us, because there are others. Stop being selfish. Stop being selfish. There's a time for that, like I said. But this time is not to be selfish, because you're affecting not just yourself, but you're affecting people in the community around you that don't have the stronger immune system that you have, or their respiratory is not as strong as yours is, and you're affecting them and you're killing them. Okay? We don't have a cure for that. We don't have a cure for this COVID-19. So you showing no care in the world that you could be affected by this, and just going out into the world, that's not cool. That's really not cool. So I do think that we need to there should be some more laws enforced on going out. covering up your mouth, covering up your hands, making sure you have hand sanitizer, making sure that you are staying 6 feet from one person when you're in line or when you're going down an aisle. Like if we all have masks, like we're supposed to have masks, I feel like everything will be fine. But we're not putting masks on. We're not doing anything because we just don't care. And that's something as a nation we need to fix. But that comes from you, Governor Whitmore. You're the one to fix that, not us. So we take the step that you give us. So if you tell us to stay inside, half of us are gonna stay. Most of us are gonna stay inside. But at the end of the day, if you tell us we can still go out and not give us any other ways of safety for ourselves, I shouldn't be here telling you guys to put a mask on your face. The governor should have announced that when she said this lockdown. If you're going out to the store, if you're getting stuff for your cat, your dog, whatever the case is, please, please, please wear safety masks. Please, please, please wear gloves. Bring hand sanitizer with you. Enforcing staying 6 feet away from one another. That's something you need to do. And it just shows how much she doesn't care, or the lack of knowledge she has of this COVID-19. I have the lack of knowledge. I have the lack of knowledge of this right now. Like literally the lack of knowing what COVID-19 really is. I still don't know what it is, but I'm going and I'm doing my research and I'm looking it up and I'm doing things to keep myself proactive and keep myself safe. Keeping people around me safe. So, again, some other things that I feel like Whitmore has lacked in this pandemic is why 15 deaths later are we now doing a lockdown? Why can those deaths be 4 deaths later and then doing a lockdown? Why can't we cut those deaths in half? Okay, that's something that maybe those 15 people that died, maybe they had a really, really bad, reaction to the COVID-19, or maybe they also had other medical problems and it just shut everything down for them. I don't know. I don't know the cases of why these people died, but they died of the COVID-19. And I do know if you lack certain things in your body, white blood cells, red blood cells, things of that nature. The white blood cells are the ones that actually help fight the disease off. Some people lack the white blood cells, and that's people that are going through medical issues. Diabetics. Oh my God, just I can't think because I'm top of my head, but there's just a lot of medical reasons why people have died, maybe because of this COVID-19, and it could have been prevented. It could have been prevented. When we first knew about this COVID-19, why did every state put their states or their citizens on lockdown but us? Why are we the last ones? I'm sure we're not the last ones, but why are we one of the last ones to put our state and our citizens on lockdown? Because you have no knowledge of what's actually going on. You're going by what you hear and not what you're seeing, not what you're reading. You need to read. You need to do your research, Whitmore. I feel like the more research you do, the more you can communicate better with the community. Michigan is something that you're liable for. So these deaths are something that you're liable for. You're liable for that. And that also comes to a point that I'm going to say is we have lack of tests. And maybe this is because we're just so low on the totem pole of deaths and increasing positive cases here. We just don't have enough, or we don't have enough for them to be like, oh, we got to send Michigan some. Well, you know what? Every state needs to have tests. Okay, there's a lot of people in Michigan right now that need to be tested for COVID-19 that are dying, that they don't know that they have it, or that have serious medical issues. and I feel like state of Michigan is in need of tests really, really bad, and I think that's really important that we need to get. Um, and I'm not saying Whitmore is the reason why we have the lack of tests. Maybe she is, maybe she's not. I don't know. Is she doing everything in her power to get tests here? Because to me, I feel like she could do more. She can do more as a governor. If you're able to lock down our state, then you need to give us some tests. You need to get tests here. You need to test people that need to be tested and find out a cure for this COVID-19. And then also my last but not least, I feel like this is what I said before, but I'm gonna go more in depth with it. A lot of people feel very enclosed. They can't see their friends. They can't, this lockdown is like taking a power away from us. We can't do what we want to do. Well, this is for our own good, and I understand that. But also, young people out there, my age and younger, we need to understand that this lockdown is for real. Okay, we need to take this in consideration that she's doing this so she can prevent the spread. Okay, preventing the spread doesn't mean going over and hanging out with your friends and making cake and smoking weed and just drinking and whatnot. Stay your asses at home. That's what you need to do. Stay your asses at home, and you need to be with your family. This is a great time to be around family, around, catch up on some Netflix shows, do some exercises, some burpees, some indoor exercises. I don't know, run a mile in your apartment complex. I don't know, do something, but stay away from people because you don't know if you're infected or not. Just because you haven't been with someone that has been infected doesn't mean you're not infected. You can be infected and you just don't even know about it. And then you go over to somebody else's house and they get infected because you spit on them or you touch something. There's a lot of things going on in this world, guys. But this is a pandemic. We need to take it serious. Okay? That's why we have video chat. That's why we have Skype. That's why we have all this technology where we can communicate with our friends and see each other's faces. And we need to take a break and step back and reflect on life. And I think that's what we really need to do. I didn't want to, smear Whitmore too much, but Smeer Whitmeer, okay? Get your stuff together. Know what's going on about this pandemic issue. Feed us information on what we can do to prevent this from spreading. Other than what you said before, keeping away from contact, you need more forceful ways to prevent this from spreading. Just telling people stay 6 feet away from each other, that's not doing anything. That's not preventing the outbreak to slow down. It's going to increase because people are still out shopping. People are still out doing what they got to do, but you're not enforcing it. Enforcing it means you must have a mask on. You must have gloves on, something to make this gigantic pandemic something small to the point where it's about this big. Okay? We just want people to be safe. We want our grandparents to live. We want our parents to survive. We want our parents to be healthy. We want our grandparents to be healthy. We want our friends and our family to be healthy. So give us more of an educational response to what we can do as a nation, as a community in Michigan to be safe towards one another. But that is it for today. I am out for the count. You have caught me. I'm Steve. Showing me videos, all that stuff. But this is a segment I like to call Smeer Whitmeer. Okay? If you have comments, if you disagree on what I say, go ahead and comment down. And I will be making other videos as well. I have all this time on my hands. But go ahead and comment down if you disagree or you have questions or you feel like you have an input on something. I will make videos for the disagreements and for people that want to put their inputs in and things like that. So, again, I hope everyone stays safe and be smart. Stay away from big crowds. Keep isolated.